to tell us about your venture, your background, and how you spotted the idea that you're currently working on.
Okay, so Chipo, I actually didn't have a background in business or anything like that initially. I started off as a scientist, so I after school went to UCT, studied a PhD in human genetics, and for a long time thought that I would become a researcher. And then I became frustrated with research and with the slow pace of innovation in research, and then decided to go into launching my own business. And so I went and studied a quick business course during the final year of my PhD, worked as a management consultant for 2 years, and while on holiday, after those 2 years, I came up with the idea for Sweep South.
When I started off, I was just someone who always kind of saw gaps and always saw problems as solutions. So it's almost looking at problems as a way in which we can take waste and it can work for us.
While I was in the States visiting friends, I saw this mobile payments solution for small businesses that allowed them to accept card payments on their smartphones. Got obsessed with it, pulled together some friends that I worked with, and 2 years later we launched a company called Yoko, which allows small businesses to accept card payments.
Excellent. Thank you very much. The next question that people naturally have when we talk about entrepreneurship is obviously around funding. So quickly, just let me know, how did you raise your first seed funding or capital that you got?
So we raised our first seed capital about, I would say, a year after working on and then launching the business. So the business was bootstrapped for the first year. We used our own savings, sold our house and car. My co-founder's my husband as well, so we took a big risk and sold everything and used that to fund the business. And then we actually went to SiMODiSA, to a SiMODiSA pitching competition, and pitched there with the aim of pitching to the audience who would become customers of the business. But one of the really cool side effects of that was that one of the judges on the pitching competition was interested in the business and came to us afterwards and said that he wanted to invest. And I think there were 3 things that probably motivated him. The first thing was that we'd put skin in the game ourselves. So we'd launched the business and gotten traction without having any external funding. It was also something that was very socially relevant, so we're dealing with an industry that's very impactful and relevant in South Africa. Domestic cleaners make up 1.2 million of our population, a population of 50 million people, so a very high number of people who are affected. And then I think obviously having good co-founders, so we built the technology ourselves, we understood the space really well, and I think those things led to us eventually getting a very, very good investor on board.
Now tell me, guys, what are some of the challenges that have defined your path? And in that, just touch on the support structure that's available for entrepreneurs. We've heard about what IDC does, but who are some of the other players and what are they doing? What have they done particularly for your businesses?
Yeah, in terms of challenges, for us, it was getting to market. As I explained, it took a year for us to get a license. We didn't know until we got that license whether we could start the business or not. So it was pure leap of faith, and that took a lot of courage. The next step was actually building the product, getting technically integrated to our bank, getting certified by Visa and MasterCard. And I'd say above anything else, just building trust.
If you've got anything that you desperately want to say to them, let's say it right now.
If you're thinking about entrepreneurship, and obviously if other factors in your life are right for it, I think there's no better time than the present to jump into it and to make an impact.
Who here is in a job? Employed. So what I want to encourage the crowd here today is that whether you're an entrepreneur or you're in your job, have the mindset of an entrepreneur wherever you are, so that you can do today.
I guess what I want to say is, if you have an idea or you're working on something, instead of thinking about the constraints that you have, imagine that you have no constraints, that you have access to all the resources that you wanted, and that's not a problem. What exactly would you do and how would you do it?
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. Our time has run out.